Joel, and here we go, another episode of the Imagine It Wrestling Podcast. I am Morten, or as Joel calls me, Morten. And this is the ultimate babyface, Joel. And today we are going to imagine it, and it's going to be a fun topic. Imagine it. Hulk Hogan debuts in 2026. Could he still get over to the level he did before?
You know something, Mean Gene!
This is a topic I think a lot of people will have wide opinions on. So we'll see where you sit on it, we'll see where I sit on it, and then we'll see where they sit on it.
I'm very curious to see where everyone else sits on it. For me, I personally think that Hogan would not get over to the same level in 2026 as he did in the 80s. And it wouldn't be because of Hogan the wrestler. It wouldn't be because of Hulk Hogan the character. It would be because of Terry Bollea the person. Because we have so much more, dirt sheets are more prevalent, more news gets spread, more news is out there. I think Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea the person, would kneecap Hulk Hogan, and he would never hit quite the levels he did as he did in the 80s, when it was easier to be ignorant of Hogan the person.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I hadn't considered that perspective. I mean, it's possible, just being around social media, all that, being, recorded, being interactions with fans. I mean, we've seen recent, things at WrestleMania with CM Punk and this type of thing. What would Hulk Hogan be like if he was constantly in the spotlight, constantly being surrounded by fans who have phones, who are able to record what he says? This is one of the things that actually is a really good point, because I hadn't considered that. I was thinking of it just purely from a wrestling perspective. Could this guy get over today with his act that he had? Would he still be a superstar? And the way I saw it was, if he was in AEW, not a chance. But if he's in WWE, I think he would be huge still.
I think that would be the thing that probably does happen is, I think he does, the person would hurt him, but as we've seen, WWE doesn't care about a lot of that.
Well, I wouldn't say they don't care. They're selective.
Of what of it. And I think...
Selective memory or selective opinions.
I think that Hogan, if he was to do his whole shtick in WWE, what it is now, I think it would resonate with that audience. But I just don't know if it... Because I feel like he would have to do a little bit more in-ring. There'd have to be a little bit more than the big boot, the leg drop, and a few other little things here and there. I think... I think there's a chance that he could do okay, but I just don't think he could hit that superstar level. Because I guess the big question for you in this is... Who do you consider the big superstar in WWE right now? Who is the pinnacle?
Well, I guess it's Cody.
So I guess based on that, how similar is Cody Rhodes to Hulk Hogan wrestling-wise?
Well, I mean, Cody's better, but Hogan was better than you thought. I mean, here's the thing: is it's easy to remember him near the end of his career, or to remember him for his politicking, and certainly. That's something that probably wouldn't fly as well today. All the politicking he did backstage, and keeping himself on top and not putting over people and that type of thing. But nevertheless, he was a better wrestler than you thought, not only technically, but simply little things like he wouldn't just get a crowd reaction because he got a crowd reaction. He figured out the maximum time to look at the crowd, when in the match to do it. To look at them, to make them stand up and go, I'm with this guy. Little things like that. Little things like he wasn't a worker in ring as far as moves or athleticism, but at things like working a crowd, he was a master.
Yeah.
One of the greatest ever.
Yeah.
And in that way, he was a great worker. And so it's easy to kind of sit there and throw that away because it doesn't work with today's style as much.
Yeah.
But the fact is that he still has a unique look, incredible charisma, damn good on the mic, and that ability to work a crowd and understand when to. I mean, there's some guys who get over and they're just wrestling, and they never hardly look at the crowd and work them. But if you watch him, he and The Rock was another one like this. Knew how to work the crowd. Steve Austin commanded a crowd. He didn't work a crowd. He commanded a crowd like nobody else. But I mean, he was an absolute master at this. So I think in WWE, where there's more storytelling and it's a more charisma, less in ring focused and more entertainment focused, he would still do really well. I don't know if he'd get over to the level he did, because I mean, you have to understand how huge that was. And nobody gets over to that level now. But I think he would be a massive star in WWE still.
I think that's one thing that I look at is because Hogan was like the guy in the 80s, to the point where pro wrestling, even in 2026, is still synonymous with the word Hulk Hogan. So it's like, could he hit that level in 2026? I just don't, like, because the other thing that I think about is the white meat babyface going to be able to get over? Because how many white meat babyfaces are super over in wrestling?
Well, Cody. And even Cody's had a little bit of backlash to that white meat babyface character. John Cena, though, stayed as a white meat babyface right till the end, except, they turned him heel for 3 weeks, and then that didn't work. That was poorly done and poorly thought out. But yeah, if you look at it, Cena was a white-faced babyface through his whole career. So, I think it can happen. I think you can do it. It's difficult. I don't know if taking your vitamins and saying your prayers would get over anymore. But there's still a lot to his act. Like I say, the unique look still stands out. You have people like the Outrunners who really have, taken his look, but they're not Hulk Hogan. They don't have the charisma level. They don't have his he was 6'5", 290 pounds.
And a bar mustache.
Yeah, just one of the things that really made him the mega star that he was right from the beginning at his return to WWF, was that he was Thunder Lips in Rocky 3. And that movie was a massive success. And he came out and looked 7 foot tall against Sylvester Stallone. Was unbelievably charismatic and likable and a megastar. Blew away, charisma-wise, Sylvester Stallone on the screen. If he doesn't get that bump, that probably hurts him.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that role. I don't know if anybody else in history of wrestling could have played that role. Can you imagine CM Punk as Thunder Lips in Rocky 3? I don't know.
Punk's never seen the Rocky movies, so we have to.
Okay, well, anybody, even The Rock. The Rock could probably do it. I'm not sure anybody else in history, other than Hulk Hogan and The Rock, could have been Thunder Lips. And the bump that he got from that movie and the level that projected fame, projected his, or kind of enhanced his level of fame for his early career. It would be interesting to see if he doesn't do that movie. Is he still the Hulk Hogan we know today? Do we look back on him the same? Or does that affect his entire legacy and he wouldn't get that bump today?
Well, I guess
he wouldn't have that movie today.
I guess a similar bump for him would be, I guess, the comparable...
The Republican Convention?
That's certainly one way. That's certainly one way to get a bump. No, I was gonna say him in a Marvel movie, but I can't see who Hogan would play.
Well, Thor.
Thor.
He would have been Thor. He would have been awesome as Thor. Are you kidding me? He would have killed it.
I don't know.
I don't know if he'd be as good as Hemsworth was, but Thor, Thanos.
But that would be the equivalent. He would have to have something like that to hit that next level.
To hit that, to get that mainstream bump of a movie that projects you early in your career. So I do think that is one thing that would keep him from, not having that necessarily would keep him from reaching the same level that he reached in the 80s. So, but I still think in WWE he would be a big star, be a main event player, and in AEW he would just not fit in.
No, he wouldn't fit in AEW. I think what ultimately be is if he was to debut in 2026, it would have to be in WWE. And I still wonder, would Nick Khan and them know what to do with Hulk Hogan?
I think Hulk Hogan's simple. I think Hulk Hogan is simple so that, yes, I think they would know what to do with him because they don't, they know what to do with Obafemi. You know what I mean?
But do
It's
they?
simple. It's simple. Yes, so far. So far, it's early, but they know what to do with Braun Breaker, so far, to a large degree. I think Hulk Hogan is pretty simple. One of the things that Hulk Hogan made his career though was that he worked the same program over and over, and I don't mean the same match. I mean essentially he was sitting there and would face they bring in a heel, have that heel beat everybody up, then have that heel beat and destroy his best friend. Then he would wrestle that undefeatable huge heel, and they don't have those 6'8" one-man gangs and earthquakes and these guys anymore. King Kong Bundy. This was essentially the act, and they had learned this act from that's what the act was with Bruno Sammartino. Bring in a top heel, push him right to the top of the card, have him beat everybody. The only guy left is Bruno Sammartino. Can he do it? And he did it. And Vince learned this. This is a simple formula. It is harder to do that formula today because it's harder to bring in a heel from outside territory and have him build up. And so that portion of that act that got over that Hulk Hogan was the one who was strong enough to body slam Andre when nobody else was, that is not going to work today. But like I said, I think the charisma is just undeniable.
I think the charisma is there. I just wonder what you do. Like, I guess here's a couple questions. Who are the two guys you pair him up with for Mania main events? Who are the two heels that he's facing for Mania in the next 2 years?
Well, I mean, if Brock is retiring and who knows what's going on there. I mean, Brock Lesnar is a monster. I mean, you want those guys that are monsters. They put Omos, is a guy, if you're going to play that same rhythm. If you're going to have him go against guys that can work, then a CM Punk would be an interesting dynamic. A Cody would be an interest. Drew McIntyre, I think, can work with anybody.
Drew would be a great one.
I think Drew would be fantastic.
Hulk Hogan
versus Drew McIntyre.
Imagine it.
Imagine it. That's his first WrestleMania match. Is Drew McIntyre, let's say.
And then the second one, I think you go with Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther is a natural. Even though the foreign heel, they don't play up the foreign part as much as they did under Vince. It's there. And Hulk Hogan is red, white, and blue, and it's a natural one. And Gunther would probably get a damn good match out of him.
Yeah, I think that. I still don't think he would be as big as he was in the 80s, but I think he would be a player in the main event scene.
Let's put it this way. I would think he would be as big as he was in the 80s in the fact that nobody is as big, but he's as big as you can get today, whereas he was as big as you could get then. And where you can get today isn't as big as it was then, but it's still better than most people in the company.
I think that's fair, but I still don't think so.
What do you all think? Like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us what you think. Share, find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Thanks very much for watching.